It's your boy DDG, and you're checking out On Air with Duane.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning back into On Air with your one and only rock star on the mic, Duane. Speaking of rock stars, we got our boy DDG, who's practically like a rock star, but he's a hip hop star. You guys know him for, oh my goodness, so many amazing hits. DDG, you're joined with us, and I want to say congratulations on your journey. You got this brand new album called "It's Not Me, It's You," platinum selling artist. Congratulations. How's it all feel, man?
Feels good, I'm just staying humble, just trying to just keep going.
I feel that. And this album, I feel like was like your most personal project. And I know you've been saying that as well, too, in a lot of different interviews and conversations that you've been having. Why do you feel like with this album, you've been able to connect more with like Daryl more, than projects?
I don't know. I feel like just me growing as an artist and making more music and being more vulnerable in the studio, whether it's, just me recording around engineers and doing this and that. I feel like it's just making me more comfortable where I can talk about, more like sentimental things or more personal things. It's just easier for me.
Yeah. And it's great that you said sentimental things, because I think it's very important for artists to have that relatability within their music. Do you ever feel like there was a time like growing up and just being inspired by artists where you didn't feel like there was something that you could not relate to, even to like today's time where it's just like, this shit is not relatable, so I got to be the one that makes sure that it's relatable?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like my music is very relatable. Um, I touch on a lot of things, whether it's like love or just persevering through growing up in poverty and not growing up with everything figured out, just being able to inspire the youth and, kind of show what it is to like flip your narrative.
Mm-hmm. And I think you've definitely been able to do that, especially with dropping out of college and stuff like that. Like, you've been able to really show people and been that perfect example of, listen, when you drop out, it's like that, you got to have a plan of what you're going to do and execute on that. And you've been able to do that. You moved to Los Angeles about how many years ago was that? About like
About,
five?
about
Five?
6 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. Were you nervous during that process at all, just to like just uproot and just kind of leave college and leave your family?
Uh, no, not necessarily. I just knew what I wanted. I just knew I didn't want to stay in school. Um, Definitely didn't want to stay in Pontiac, Michigan. So it was just at the time I was just getting so much money, especially for a college student. It just didn't make sense for me to not take advantage of the opportunity. I feel like you can always go back to college. You can always revisit, whether it's like a university or a community college. Dropping out isn't like the end of your school career. I know people that's been in school or went back to school when they turned 40. So it's like, it's just really just taking advantage of the opportunity that you got because, nothing lasts forever, really.
That's true. And I'm glad that you said that, because I feel like a lot of times people get in the mindset of, oh, I'm this age, I have to be in college, or I'm this age, I haven't gone to college, or I can't do it. But you can do anything that you put your mind to, and you've been, that perfect example. So when you were in college, like what were you studying for? Like some people that don't know, because there's a lot of people that are familiar with you, but aren't so familiar with the fact that you were in college and that you dropped out. What were you studying?
I was studying broadcasting and I had a minor in acting. So it's kind of like I just went to college for what I already wanted to do. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily that I needed to have that major. It was definitely, in my opinion, it was a waste of money for a major because these days you can set up a camera, start a podcast, and all of a sudden you're a broadcaster. Or you can do
Right.
this, that. Like you really don't need a degree to do that, which is cool to have a degree, especially if you want to work for somebody else. But um, I feel like college should be for degrees that like is very, very necessary for you to have that type of like information for you to go into graduation school and go to law school or medical school. You know what I mean? That's the
Right.
type. That's what I look at college for for like what I went to college for was just me just passing time and just trying to figure myself out. And I feel like, but I do feel like me going to college definitely made me who I am for sure. Cause I
Yeah.
kind of, I kind of discovered myself in terms of like being more social, making friends, and just learning, how to be on my own as a kid. Cause I'm like, I went to college when I was 18. So just learning how to just, be alone, be a grown up, be an adult at a younger age, it just helped me a lot in my mindset for me knowing what I want to do. So when I started making that money, it was like, okay, I know I want to do this and that.
No, that's what's up. And it's good that even through like that short period of time that you had in college, you were able to have a takeaway moment from that. Because a lot of people, they don't, they're like, oh, I just dropped out. There wasn't really anything that I could take away besides the fact that I was wasting time and stuff like that. But you have a positive outlook on the experience no matter what. And it's setting you up for life.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Nah, that's incredible. So now with this brand new album, how long did it take to record this album? Because I know that you've been like consistently dropping and consistently touring. Even during the pandemic, you did Rolling Loud, which congratulations on that, because being able to like headline, be one of the top headliners of such a festival like that is like an opportunity, and they keep calling you, and they keep calling, and they want to see you.
Yeah. No, it's great. You know, um, with the album, it took me about like a little less than a year. It was really just a compilation of songs, really that kind of meant the same thing to me, and I kind of put them together. That's really how I make my albums. I don't really go in there and think like, okay, this is the first song, this is the second song, this is the third song. I just go in there and I just make music, and whatever is the best music that I make out within that time period that I'm trying to create an album, um, is what I'll put out. But recently I just been dropping frequently. I just been trying to drop literally a song every week, and I feel like that's just feeding my inner fan base, and just growing that number. Aside from whether I'm on a radio or on a big playlist or anything, it's just feeding my own core fan base.
Yeah. And I've been noticing that the DDG Wednesdays, and I like the consistency amongst that. So if it's a song, there might be a video, but if it's not a song, if it's not a video, then you're definitely dropping a song. What encouraged you to just do that while pushing this album? Just kind of keep everything going.
I just feel like music is consumed way quicker than it used to be. So it's like, unless you got a damn TikTok challenge or some type of movement or some type of something to like connect to your song, it doesn't really live for too long. Like even the best albums that's out today, we listen to it on Friday, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, maybe once in a while the following week, and then we on to the next when the next big artist drops. So it's like that's just how music is consumed. So if I'm dropping weekly, at least I'm keeping the attention of my own fans, and they like, okay, he dropping again, he dropping again. You know what I mean? Until I finally get that one that sticks, that I decide to put on a playlist, or it ends up going on the radio, and it really like is a sticking song, and it ends up going gold, platinum, and all of that. Um, just feel like it's too much. I make too much music not to be dropping, so I'm just putting them out.
Right. And how often are you in the studio? Because I know like your process is definitely very unique, which is not like far-fetched. We'll get into the process, but how often would you say you're in the studio recording?
I've been in the studio probably like, I don't go like every day like every other artist, because I got like multiple jobs. Like I get on Twitch and stream for 5 hours out the day. I get on YouTube and make a few videos. Um, my schedule is just very, very like thin. So when I go to the
Mm.
studio, it's like, okay, I done already did this work. I done already did this. So now I got time. I can sit in the studio for 12 hours. I like to lock out. And then when I go to the studio, I'm making at least 5, 6 songs. So if I do that 2 days, 3 days in a row, now I got 10 to 12 songs. If I wanted to, that's an album. because
Right.
the way I do it, I don't leave unfinished songs. So if I go in the studio, yeah, I finish the entire song. I do background vocals, ad libs. I hit the mixer up. I get ready to get it mixed, everything. If I really like it, I get it mixed right then and there. Like I just don't waste no time. I get it all done, so I ain't got to backtrack. So unless it's like a obvious open verse that I want to send to another artist, I like to finish my songs right then and there. So if I go to the studio 2 times out the week, make me 12 songs, drop them sporadically. Like these last 5 songs I didn't drop, or 4 songs I dropped on a little Wednesday shit. I made all these in one session. These been done.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
like, yeah, so I'm just shooting the videos to them. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like artists go to the studio every single day. They make 5, 6 songs and then they just put them in their notes and they never come out. I just don't see the point of that.
Yeah. And you know what? I've noticed that that is a common theme of artists putting it in their notes and it just like piles up and it's just like, so are you gonna finish it? Like, and you, like you said, you spend that time doing it, so you might as well make the
Yeah.
best of it. Get the mixer to work on it right away because it's like, what's the point of backtracking? I just put a project out, so I can definitely relate to the fact of once you have shit already done, you got your photos already done, you've got your visuals. Once it's time to put it out, your rollout is incredible from that point
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's easier. It's way easier just to have it all ready. For sure, 100%. Especially with me, I'm just dropping it just on my own on my YouTube channel, really. Like I'm not even putting it through my label because I don't even want to waste their time. I'm not looking at these songs as like, oh, this the next one. I'm looking at them as
Right.
like I'm trying to just stay in people's faces.
Yeah. And I want to even ask you about that because you started off independent and you've got Zuda Music and and you're with Epic as far as being signed to a label, just kind of having that mentality going into a major label from being an independent artist. What kind of mindset did you have just already kind of understanding the business, but also knowing that you still had much more to learn about the business?
I feel like a major label is necessary if you want to make it to a certain level in this music game. It's like, you got to break bread with people. So my mindset really is just like I don't want to do music just to make. I don't do music to be like, okay, I want to make this amount of dollars, do this and that. Like I do music because I have a real passion for it, and it's like something that I genuinely want to accelerate in. And if I get to a point where I'm selling out arenas or I'm doing this and that, that's what the experience is what I'm chasing. It's not the money that I'm chasing. But being with a major is definitely teaching me. It's definitely teaching me the game and teaching me the business about it to put into my own label. So I know how everything is running. So I'm just learning as I go, really.
Right. And some of the artists that you even have with your label is Baby Rich and you've got Autumn. Like how did you discover like your artists? Like how did they come to you? Like how did that whole thing work about?
Um, well, it's more like for me, I don't. I like connecting with people that I have an actual relationship with. Like Rich was somebody that opened for me on my first tour. And then my second tour, he came around, and then he was always around. So it was just like, okay, this is my homie at this point. So it's like it's just way easier that way because I go off energy. I go off if I really fuck with a person and I feel like they got potential. And I just feel like, him and Autumn, they got potential. Autumn is very talented. She's a great singer, great artist. Um, and I just see the different spectrums. It's really just about connecting with the fans socially. I feel like
Right.
that's the thing. And I feel like that's where I come into play. Me being a big Black YouTuber and knowing how to navigate through all these different social media platforms and move people from here to there to there to there. Um, it's just easy for me to creatively put them in the face of my fans and give them the numbers that I can give them,
Uh-huh.
and then eventually they get their own fans, which they already do, but they get their own fan base, and it's just easier for them to grow that way.
Right. And they're doing it extremely credible. Like Autumn's numbers just rose on Instagram. Baby Rich, he's doing good. He just dropped his single. Actually, you guys just dropped the single together in a video. So I mean, like, and the numbers on that is crazy. Is what 1.6. I had to look over my notes. Like that's incredible. And that happened within like a week time.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Really good song.
Yeah. And you mentioned something about navigating social media and stuff like that. I know you started off like very early with YouTube and stuff like that. So as things started to progress with these different platforms, were you always like, I'm gonna just learn this platform to really get myself out there? Or was it more so a thing where you were like, because I'm already into technology with gaming and stuff like that, this was kind of something that I could kind of like rock with a little bit more?
What you mean, like why I started YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was a YouTube fan before anything. So I was like just watching other YouTubers and just watching like vlogs and all the viral videos that happened back in the day. Um, all the skits and stuff. And I was just like a big fan of YouTube. So me watching it and just being enjoyed and being entertained, I was like, okay, I wonder if I can do this. I never did YouTube with the mindset of making money or getting to this point. Like when I first started, it was really just to entertain my friends. So I was just making like skits for them to watch. And then they was laughing. It was like, when you making another one? When you making another one? And then I just kept making them. And then it got to a point where I'm like, damn, I'm only getting 100 views, 50 views. I'm like, I got to do something. So then I started buying views and stuff. I started doing a bunch of stuff just to make it look good.
Right.
And I just couldn't figure it out because YouTube is a very hard platform to blow up on. So
Right.
I'm just just trying out different things. And then as I went on, I finally got like a video with some traction. It was like a reaction video to Nicki Minaj Anaconda or something. And I just reacted to the video, and then it ended up getting like 15,000 views. And then from there, I did like another reaction and got like 2 million views. And then I just kept going. And then those videos get copyrighted, so I ain't make no money.
Right.
But then I realized you can make real money on here. So then I looked more into it, start doing my research, and I just started realizing, okay, cool. So then my first check was like $200. I was working at TJ Maxx at the time, and then I ended up quitting. And then from there, I'm like, okay, if I can make $200 doing some videos, that means I can make $400, or I can make $4,000, or I can maybe one day make $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really just had that mindset of like, I can grow this if I just really put my mind to it. And then to college, and yeah, from there I blew up in college really. So really was just it didn't start with the mindset of, oh, I want to be this big YouTuber and this and that. It just started with me just wanting to just entertain my homies and just have fun. And then I realized it can be a real job.
Right. So that's unique how like you took a couple of stabs at it with the videos, and then that one reaction video just made it pop, and then you just went on from there, and then you figured out what your formula was.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. Did you ever have a moment when once you figured out your formula, like okay, this is the content that I shouldn't do, or this is the content that I should do? Were those ever any like ever feeling skeptical about the content at all?
Not at the time. Like now I'm way more skeptical because I'm in a bigger light. I'm in a much bigger like telescope. A lot of people are looking at me and what I say. Like if I was to get online and say something crazy or say something that, say I was to recite something Kaye said or some shit, you know what I'm saying? It's just gonna be a bigger deal rather than 5 years ago. If I said some shit like that, nobody would give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm in a way bigger light, so I definitely pay attention to what type of videos or what type of content or what I say. But back then, it was all about getting views. Like I really didn't care. Like I would do anything, and then not on like no weird shit, but like more like I will do some cringy shit. I'll do some embarrassing stuff that I might not want to look back on later on. You know what I mean?
Right.
As a grown man, it'd be like, the hell was I doing? But it's like I didn't have the telescope that I got on me right now. So it was like it was cooler for me to do that type of stuff. Like I was doing like diss tracks on other artists and stuff. I was doing like public interviews, asking girls like outrageous things. Like I used to do like I did like I was like 16 and I went to Florida and I asked girls if I can eat their booty and like crazy shit. Like, and
Right.
I was doing that because it was just like, this shit funny. To me, it's funny. Like even now,
It
like
was what was trending during that time too, to just be like out in public asking crazy questions, and the girls be like, "Wait,
yeah,
what did you say?"
yeah, it was just some funny shit. So it's like now I 100,000% would never ever do no shit like that. But like
Right.
again, it was like, it's cool. Like I'm just a kid. I'm 16, 17, 18. I'm getting some money. I'm making $2,000 here, $5,000 this month. Shit, I'm gonna keep doing these interviews. But um, definitely, it's like I'm in a completely different light now. Like I'm very knowledgeable. I'm more of like a family person, and I just like to just really hang around and make videos with family and shit.
Yeah, and I appreciate the fact that one thing's for sure, like no matter how like your profile is growing and stuff like that, you are always with family, whether they're in town with you or you're visiting with them. How important is family, especially during these times as we're still going through, a pandemic and just as Black men, and as a culture, we're still going through, you know, wild times.
Um, it's very important. Uh, Especially living in LA, like it's a lot of fake people out here. So you don't really get to connect with too many people on a personal level. So having family out here is like super important. Like I really only hang around family and like a few close friends. Really don't have a lot of people around me. So I think it's really important. Like that's all I hang around is my brother and shit like that.
Yeah, and you have to, especially because, like you said, LA is kind of wild. Like
Yeah.
I'm now in just a year to myself, and I'm like, bro, these people are crazy. Like
Yeah.
they be like, oh yeah, friend this, friend that, and then you don't hear from them, you don't see them. It's just weird.
Yeah. It's everybody using each other out here.
That part. Um, so I wanted to talk about stay in my circle, that since, we're talking about, relatability and, just close people like that. Stay in my circle. What necessarily sparked that record for you?
That's actually one of my favorite songs that I ever made. Um, and I'm very, very passionate about that song. I'm glad you brought it up. It's it's really just a vibey song. Like it's just something that I like making songs where you can just chill and just like make you want to bounce a little bit, maybe smoke a little bit. Like I like making vibey music, and that's kind of like the first song where I went for that type of aesthetic where it's like, okay, you put this on, you ain't putting it on to necessarily jump up and down. You ain't putting it on to be sad. You putting it on just to chill, relax. You know what I mean? Ride down the street and just enjoy life. You know what I mean? So it's just like this. It's just the whole song is just, I don't know. It just feels good.
Yeah. So was this one of like those records that you constantly listen to like after you were done recording it? Because I know when it comes to your music, you listen to it after you're done, just kind of like really get a feel for like, am I really vibing with this so that other people can vibe with this and put this out?
Yeah, nah, I still listen to that song to this day. And I'm really like when I make my songs, like that's the only thing I listen to in the car. And then when my music comes out on like all the DSPs, like Apple and Spotify, I really don't listen to it no more. But Stay in My Circle is a song that I bump like still like it ain't even mine. That's one of my favorite songs. So that just goes to show that it's a great song. It's just a little slept on, but that's just how it be.
Is there a video coming for that record?
No, it's a video out. It's already a
Oh,
video. I dropped that. I dropped that. I dropped that independently before. I even put it out on my album because I was just so excited about it. So I dropped it without no big looks for real. I didn't really get no playlisting for it or none of that. I just put it on my YouTube just like I'm doing now, like I'm doing the weekly stuff. But I just put it out and then I told my label, I'm like, we gotta put this on the album. This one fire.
Hmm. What other songs would you say on this album that you that resonate with you, whether it's the standard version or the deluxe version?
I would say I like Love Myself a lot. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, I like that's I like well Elon Musk is a little older, but that's definitely one of my favorites for sure. Um I like my song, it's called Rich Bitch with Corey LeRae and Lakia.
Oh, shout out to
Um,
Lakia who's been on the show. Super fire. I love the fact that y'all collaborated. So I think it's
yeah,
like the way y'all flow, like, and then Coy Ray on there too. It's just like it's just
yeah,
timely.
I want to do like some because you know I was in the double XL freshman freestyle with all of them.
Yeah.
So it was a cool little moment I wanted to create. I feel like the song definitely didn't get to transpire into what the vision that I got for it, but you never know. You know, music blowing up 2 years later these days. So it's like,
True.
you know, you never know. I feel like it's a club record. Something, you know, maybe in a strip club, maybe in a regular club, girls can dance to, turn up to. Um, but that's one of my favorites too. So
So you feel like with that record that that would be one that you would definitely want to like give like that real push and like have service to like radio and to like really give it its just due.
yeah, I would say more so on some club stuff, you know. That's one thing I feel like I'm missing as an artist. It's a club aspect. Not that I necessarily want to be in the club and perform in that
Right.
club a lot, but it's just like, you know, that's where when I go to the club, it sounds completely different from my playlist. And it sounds
Mm,
completely different from the radio. Like I'm listening to what the streets is listening to when I'm in the club.
right. Cause
And
they kicking that BPM up.
yeah, then it opened my mind and I'm like, okay, this is what the hell they want to listen to. This sound good in here. And then in the same breath, it's like if this sound good in the club, then it's probably gonna sound good overseas at a festival. You know, so it's like I feel like that's just a song that I want to like really get into the circuit of clubs everywhere. So I'm working on that actually.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for you, especially with that record. Cause that's like one of them top ones. And I definitely love If I Want You.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
That one fire. And the response to that was like super dope as well. Were you expecting like for the response to be as good as it was, or did you kind of like feel in your gut like that one was the perfect one to really, lead off the project to let people know that an album was coming?
Um, yeah, especially just like it was like the first visual of me and my girl in it. So it was just like, you know, it was just a different type of feel. Um, and then having her like on the backgrounds and stuff, it was like really, it was dope. She actually had a verse on it, but I just didn't put it out. But it was, you know, it was a cool moment, good vibe.
Right.
Um, more on the R&B side. So you know, my fan base is pretty split. Like, you know,
Mhm.
I got the niggas that want to listen to the rap, and then I got the girls that might want to listen to the R&B, but definitely more male fans than women. So you know, I gotta hit the sweet spot. I go melodic. You know,
Yeah. Speaking of R&B, what R&B artists do you currently listen to when you get a chance to listen to them?
um, R&B artists. I'm really all in the hip hop, but like when I listen to R&B, I'm like a big fan of my girl. Obviously, uh, I'm a big fan of like Chloe too. Big fan of Summer Walker. Really the girls. I don't really be listening to the dudes for real, to be
Mhm.
honest. When it come to R&B, I really listen to the girls. Um, but no, I don't know. I'm in tune with it. I'm in tune with it. Certain artists, but I'm really like more hip hop based. to be honest.
Yeah. What were those first songs when it came to hip hop that just made you fall in love with music?
Um, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying album. That was like I was a extreme big fan of 50 Cent. Like one of those artists that if anything happened to him, I'd probably cry type shit. I
I
used
feel
to like, as a kid, like I had all the G Unit gear, I had all the video games, everything. So
oh man, remember the sneakers?
yeah, I had the shoes, everything. So I had the whole get up. So as a kid, 50 Cent was like my first introduction to being a real hip hop fan and being a diehard fan for another artist. And I'm like around the age of 8, 10 years old, maybe younger than that. So um yeah, that was definitely like my introduction to hip hop.
Wow. And have you gotten an opportunity to meet him yet?
Nah, that's one person I haven't met. I pretty much met everybody but 50 Cent and a few other people, but nah, I haven't met 50 Cent yet.
Soon come. Definitely soon come. Would you want to do a record with him?
Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be crazy. 50 Cent record would be lit.
Yeah, I can see that. Because 50 Cent is that man. And you know what? It's very dope about the both of you. He mainly does overseas performances. He don't do a lot of US stuff. And you do a lot of overseas performances as well, too. Festivals. Like
Yeah.
that's definitely something y'all have in common. So I feel like y'all gonna cross paths at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet him for sure. I'm not worried about that, but um, he kind of like me for real when it comes to like dipping and dabbing into different industries, especially with like the power,
Mm-hmm.
the different shows that he coming up with. It's just kind of like the same mindset as me. Like I come up with my own little series on YouTube. I make my own little set shows on my YouTube channel with my family, and we kind of just, what I mean, make little episodes or whatever. And it's kind of like the same thing. So I can relate to 50 Cent a lot for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. And with entrepreneurship, what things can we look forward to like in these new years to come?
Um, just new products. I'm looking into building my brand a lot more in terms whether it's just clothing or coming out with my own anything. It's just putting my name on stuff and just starting to expand my brand and my portfolio on what I do over even more past music. So just working on expanding my team and just, continuing to grow as a mogul rather than just an artist and a YouTuber.
Yeah, because you definitely have a household name. So I definitely feel like the expansion of what you do and stuff like that, it's going to be incredible, no matter what it is, even whether it be cologne or it be clothing. Like it's just up from here, literally.
Alone is a great idea. Appreciate it,
Yeah,
man. For
you
sure.
got to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I know that fans have been asking you about a tour and stuff like that. I know it's kind of like you're debating between if you want to open for another artist or if you want to do your own. Ideally, tour wise, how would you see it for yourself next year?
Uh, it depends. If it's a big tour, then I'm gonna go on it. If it ain't like a tour that's like, if it's a big tour, or it's a tour where it's like me and another person that's like on my level, not maybe like a little past my level in a way, and it's like more of like a co-headliner tour, I do that, or I just go on my own tour for real. But
Right.
it's really just it's in the air. I just don't want to do because tours take a lot of energy and they take a lot of time out of your life and what I do. It definitely takes a lot out of you. So um it really just depends on the opportunity that I'm presented. But I got a few tours that's been in mind that I can't really speak about, but I'm gonna just test the waters and see what's what the offerings is and how
Right.
long it'll be and stuff like that.
I feel that. What quarter do you think you'll probably go on tour? Like more maybe like second, third quarter?
Yeah, I would prefer second quarter around like springtime and where it's or summertime, trickling into the summer before it's like, it's too. I don't really like going out when it's cold. I always tour in the
Yeah.
cold. Yeah, and it's
I-
like,
I've noticed every tour or show that you have it's been like during like brick weather. It's like not it.
yeah, then it's like I go out middle of the pandemic. It's like I just be touring at the wrong time. So I feel like going out this time, I definitely want to go in more like a more, I don't know, better weather. But
Yeah.
also in the same breath, it's like I want to definitely touch festivals. That's like my favorite thing to do is perform at festivals. So I
Is
want to
there
make intertwine with that.
is there any place that you haven't performed like overseas wise that you want to touch or even in the States?
Um, I haven't performed in Miami before. Well, actually, I did. I did festival in Miami, but I haven't like overseas. It's a lot of places I didn't go to, but I definitely been more places than I couldn't tell you the exact place overseas in Europe that I haven't been to.
Right. Because you
But
travel.
yeah, I've been to a lot of places this past summer.
Yeah, that's what I love seeing, like that you actually have fun while all the success is going on. We don't really get a chance to see that with a lot of artists, but you make sure that you document every moment.
Yeah, for sure, for my own memories and stuff like that. So I definitely be having fun when I'm definitely overseas because that's something new to me for real. So this is
Yeah.
fun.
So we like to end off our conversation asking this great question before, we tell people where they can, download the project and find you on socials, just in case they aren't, but I'm pretty sure they are. What would you say exemplifies you as not even just as a artist and entrepreneur, but as a man?
I would say I'm just very, very ambitious. Um, and I'm very believing in myself. So I feel like whatever I put my mind to, I get it done. And I'm heavily dependent on manifestation, and it hasn't really failed me yet. So I just been doing what I just put my mind to and just keep going.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what you got to keep doing, bro. Keep going. Cause I see even brighter things. I see stadium tours. I'm speaking that over your life because I can already see it. It's in you, of
Yeah,
course.
that's the goal.
Hmm. So let people know where they can follow you, and just in case they're not already on socials, and where they can download this incredible album.
You can follow me on all socials. Just type in DDG um, on any social media, and it should pop right up. When it comes to my music, it's a great album. Definitely worth the listen, top to bottom. Make sure you give the deluxe a listen. It's an extra 4 songs. Uh, and those extra 4 songs feature Coi Leray, Lakia, Offset. Um, so I got a lot of good music on there. So give it a listen.
Yeah, they definitely got to get the deluxe because I'm telling you, bro. I literally texted Dimitri and was like, "What?" I was like, "Let's go," because
Yeah,
I was just excited just to see. And I'm always excited just to see your journey progress, but just seeing that there was a deluxe with the album and it was more records that you wanted to put out was just like it couldn't get any better in that moment of that announcement.
appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.